Hello everyone, thanks for joining me. Amanda here. If you are new to my channel, please do click subscribe and a like. If you're a long-standing subscriber, just make sure that you've clicked the notification bell. I've had reports that some people are not getting the notifications. If this is happening to you, unclick the notification bell and re-click it again. Alright, so what I'm going to do today, I'm going to show you a little page element that I've come up with for my latest journal. Okay, so this is a belly band, alright, but it's got a hidden element. So you can make it slightly bigger. I'm going to give you the measurements exactly how I've made it. You can adapt the size to what you want and what your needs are and what size page once you've got the concept. And I can slide things in there. Okay, and I can also slide things in that bit there. Alright, so it's a double belly band. And the special bit is it's got a hidden waterfall element. Okay, so it's beautifully decorated. We've got seam binding, we've got a little doodad there on a little bulb clip, and we've got the words, "The Secret Garden bloomed and bloomed." It's been stitched around and papered and inked. I'm going to show you the bare basics, so don't forget, it's a belly band. You can slip things under there and in here as well. Alright, and it'll go all the way through. So if we undo the seam binding, this is where the secret waterfall is, and if we open it like so, in here I've got these little, they're like postcard tickets, and these are part of the Sage Garden kit from the Graphics Fairy. But I'm going to show you how to do just this size. So basically, when you've got a beautiful picture, and then when you open it up, you've got journaling spots at the back. 2, 3, 4, 5. So not only, and you can journal there as well, so not only have you extended the journaling space of this page, you've also got a belly band, a decorative feature, and 2 tuck spots as well. Alright, so it's like double bubble. It's fantastic. So let's get on and I'll show you how to make it. I'll fasten that up later. Alright, so I'm going to show you the bare basics, the framing of it. Obviously, you know, the decorating and the sewing, I'm not going to do that on camera. So to make it really easy, I have gotten an A4 sheet of cardstock. I've made it from cardstock so it's sturdy. You can use thick paper, you can use what you want. And all I've done is the full length of a European A4 sheet of card. I've cut it to 2.5 inches wide. Alright, so if you're in America, yours will just be slightly smaller. Okay, you might just need to adjust your measurements or use a 12 by 12. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to, everything's falling over. I'm going to just really quickly score each end of this cardstock at 2.25 inches, I work in inches, I'm sorry, 2.25 inches. Okay, if you're not sure on measurements, if you go to Google, there's size conversions. Alright, so I'm just going to fold that and fold that. Alright, so that is the actual frame of the belly band. You can fold it which way you like. Some people are really anxious about folding it the right way from scoring. When it's for a journal, I don't care. If I was making a beautiful card that was for, you know, a golden wedding anniversary, I might be more mindful. I couldn't care less. Right, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to round the corners. Okay, it just looks neater. Round the corners of those flaps. And then I'm going to distress ink with Vintage Photo. This is a cream card. I've got card drawers full of card that I don't use, so just use what you've got. Don't go out buying anything special. Use what you've got, save your money for digital images and Tim Alt stamps like me. So I'm just inking all the way around. I do ink places where it's not going to get seen, and I do that to make sure that my inking's seamless. You know, and I know that I know I haven't missed any. So even though you're not going to see the back bit, I will still ink it all the way around. Alright, it only takes 2 minutes anyway. I'm doing it really quickly so my inking's not perfect here. You know, when you're doing it, you know, take your time, there's no rush. And if by folding the card backwards and forwards it splits it, that's an added bonus for me in a junk journal because it gives me a distress look. Now at this point I would go on my sewing machine and cut all the way around each flap. You can do all of that bit as well if you want, but you're not going to see it. So if I can just show you on mine, so I have sewn just around the flaps there, okay? It's not essential. Just looks pretty. Okay, so then the next thing you need is 5 pieces of card or whatever, you know, recycled box, whatever, you can cover it with some pretty paper. But I just happen to have cardstock coming out my ears. Can't think why. So each of these measures 2.5 by 4 3/4, and I've got 5 of them. All right. Now, if you want that cute ticket look, all you need to do is get a little, have I got one? Yeah, 3/4 inch punch or something like that. I'm just eyeballing that. I'd rather measure it, but you could just use your punches to get that ticket effect, but I would probably do one and then I'd probably measure it because you don't want it to all look odd. But I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to leave them as they are. Then what you're going to need are 5 strips of paper. So these are going to be your little hinges. So this is just book paper, but it's quite thick book paper. And these measure the width of the card, which is 2.5 inches, and then they're 1 inch wide. And all you do is fold it in half. Okay. I would ink them, everything like that, because I'm an absolute nutter. You don't know why I dink them, because you're not going to see them, but I probably would. Where's my glue? Just let me get my glue. So these, you could leave them as they are, so they're just for journaling. You can cover them with your patterned paper. You could even put little mini pockets in. There's loads and loads of different things you could do with this idea. Alright. So what we do is we glue one side of the, I mean, you should all know how to do a waterfall, but if you're new to crafting you might not, so I'm still going to show the process because I like to assume not everybody knows everything. Okay, and then just stick that on there. Now this part, it doesn't have to be perfect, but it looks nicer if you get it straight and lined up. So make sure that's nicely lined up at the top there, okay? And if you get your first card straight, the rest will follow. Alright, so then, so you've glued that hinge on there, so this other fold here will just simply go inside here. Now we're not going right up to the crease, okay, not right up, because you don't want to infringe on it closing. So just a little bit lower down, centralise it. You could make this flap just 2.5, you know, the casing the same. You can make it bigger and you can make these bigger, you can do what you want, okay? It's just the idea. So you go away and play with it and adjust it to suit your needs, or you can just quite nicely use the measurements that I've used, okay? So, another one. You can always fast forward this bit if you want, but you know, we'll talk about you if you're gone. I'm only kidding. I'm just kidding. So, I'm going to do my best to try and get back to 3 videos a week. So, if you're not a subscriber, do click the notification bell, because, you know, do try and share as much as I can. I'm on quite a few design teams. I've got another one to announce as well. I'm actually on a 3rd now. A lady contacted me and asked me if I'd do some design work for her, so I said yes, because I like to keep busy. Right, so when you're doing the next one, just ever so slightly overlap this piece of paper, but you don't want to go right up Alright, because you want room for them to move freely, and then they will line up nicely on top of each other. Now I use wet glue so that I've got room for manoeuvre. See how they're sitting nicely on top of each other like that? And that is the waterfall, and as you add them they'll all look like that. So as you're gluing that on and keep going with the rest, just close them before your glue dries, and just be mindful and try and keep them all kind of lined up. At least within this, it just looks pretty. It's a pretty effect. And then when if you line them all with different papers, you're going to have a cascade of loveliness, and it's just going to look fab. Okay, so I am going to do it the whole thing all the way through, so you can fast forward if you want. Alright, I can edit my videos and I know how to like fast forward bits, but then you've got to delete the audio so you don't sound like, you know, Alvin and the Chipmunks, and you've got to, it just takes time, and I'd rather just sit here and waffle on, to be honest. Right, so I'm just layering that one again, layering it on top, and before it dries I'm just going to carefully lay the others. And see, that's a bit crooked, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to just pull it straight and hold it with my finger, and then open that back up and give it a press. Okay, and that should be fine now. And then on to the next one, and this will hold 5 little journaling cards. Like I say, you could leave them plain, you could just write lines across them with a ruler and a pencil for journaling and have them like a little cascading notebook. You could really highly decorate them, add little pockets, little mini envelopes, or just decorate it with pretty paper, which is what I'll probably do. So I'm not going to decorate all of the papers and everything, or else my video will be significantly longer, and you'll, you know, I'll decorate the thing, but I'm not decorating all of these flips. I'll do those at a later date, and it will go in my journal on another page. So I'm just going to pull that one down and line it up so that it's a nice even kind of look. There we go, that'll do for me. And then give it a press, open those up, give it a press. I mean, if you're really particular, you can measure it, make sure they're all exactly the same distance from each other. I ain't got time for that, me. You know, when it's a journal, I like them to be a little bit imperfect, because imperfection is to me perfection. You don't have to measure the life out of everything and have it absolutely. You can kill the vibe of a project by being too precise, especially when it comes to journaling. Rightio. So I would have inked all of these. You can sew around them all before, and do all of that before you glue them on, because you're not going to be able to successfully sew them or ink them very successfully once they're glued down. Right, so this is the final one. I've probably got room there for another, if I'm honest, but I'm just going to leave it there, or I could space them out more. I'm just going to leave it there. I might add another one after the video's done. My original one, I must have spaced them out more, maybe, don't know. But you can see, as you can see, you just adapt it as you go. It's brilliant. I love it. Just pull that down a bit. So I've got some little bit of space there. I could maybe add another one there, but sometimes you can add too much, can't you? So that's your waterfall element. And don't forget, you can adapt this idea, and you could have your belly band going that way and have the flips go that way. You just need to make it obviously a smaller if you're having it that way than that way. Yeah, cool. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to, yeah, I think I've started further up than I did in my original one, not to worry. So then what I'll do is I will decorate it with some decorative paper. So what I'll do is I'm really not into measuring at the moment. I'm into quick results, so I just use my lovely ripping ruler, and I also like the look it gives me, so I'll just put it to the edge there. I'll leave a small gap all the way around. Hold on, I don't like that side rips too jaggedy. I like this one. There we go, just do that, and then I'll go this way, and which one is it? That one. Is that right? No, I like it that way, don't I? Yeah, that's it. One just does a bit of a gentler rip one way than the other. Then ink it. So if you want to add, you know, if you've got room because you've put them closer up together, or you've done, you know, slightly different measurements, then those cards, I'll give you the measurements again. So the cards measure 2.5 by 4 3/4. Okay, 2.5 by 4 3/4, and this piece here is approximately 3 inches, and each end it's scored at 2 1/4. All right. You can adjust it, do what you want. I've given you the measurements because I don't blog or write the measurements down, so if you miss it, you'll just have to rewind the video. But once you've got it, it's super simple. And just do what I do. I write it down, and I didn't have it on that one. Did I have it on that one? Doesn't matter, they're both the same. Is that paper upside down? No. Yep, so I'll just put my raggedy bit of paper there, and then I'm going to do another one here. Where's my ruler gone? I've literally, it's there. Literally, just add that ruler. Right, so line it up there, and then I'm just going to rip it, ink it, and glue it on. And I would probably do the same method for my flips as well, by using my ripping ruler. If you wanted to measure your paper, you can either measure it exactly the same size, or do 2 1/4 by 4 1/2, and then that will just give you that small border all the way around. Okay, so I've even given you that measurement. Life don't get any easier than that. Okay, that way I think it is. And then I've got pots and all sorts of little words and sayings, and hold on a minute, I've got a little tray over here as well. What shall we have? Let's have a look. There, we'll have that one. These are from Artie Mays, these little phrases. I'm just going to rag up the end. Give it a bit of an ink. Okay, and that'll get stuck on the bottom with a little bit of... let's have a look, what have I got hanging about? Let me just find a random piece of something to stick under it. Here we go. A little bit of lace. Just random. Yeah, let me just trim it a little bit. Okay, a bit of glue on there. That's for my lace. This is where your little scraps of lace come in handy. I've started saving all my little scraps. I've got these little tubs, and in the bottom of there there's tiny scraps of lace, because they're just perfect for going underneath your sentiments. So that will go on there like so. Okay, then to do your closure, all you need to do is get one of these if you've got one. If you've not got one, just use a normal, you know, a normal hole punch. Now I am going to just measure to make sure I get it in the middle. So if this is 3 inch, I want it at 1 1/2. Roughly about there. Just going to make a pencil line. Can always rub it out after. And I'll do one here as well. Bear in mind that you're going to be decorating that paper on the inside, so when it's all, you know, together, it'll look pretty like mine in my book. Alright, set your spacer on here if you've got one, so that you're getting them at the same kind of depth. On that one. Get off. Okie doke. Just rub that pencil out. I'm trying to hurry up now because I've got a stew bubbling in the kitchen and I'm a bit worried that it's going to burn, because I tend to put these things on and then forget about them. So what I'm going to just do really quickly, I'm not going to do the little, mine's got a little, I'll show you mine again at the end. Mine's got a little dangle on. I'm not going to do the dangle because it was just literally, I added a charm to a bulb pin. That's all I did. So where's my bulb pins? I don't know. You don't need teaching how to thread a charm onto a bulb pin, I'm sure. If anybody's not sure though, do let me know. I will show you. But I think so. Then I've got these little eyelets. I just get these from, I just get the cheap ones from Amazon. They're not fancy We Are Memory Keepers or Tim Holtz or anything like that. They're just eyelets. They're actually haberdashery ones. Alright, so that goes like that. Then you get your seam binding. Okay. Don't get any easier, it really doesn't. Roughly how much do I need so that it'll tie in a bow? About that. Now what I have done on mine, I've stained it with tea dye distress ink. So I'll do this one after the video, and to crinkle it I'll just ruffle it up in my hands, literally hold it like that and then unfold it, and that will crinkle it up for you. Okay, it's the heat from your hands and your sweaty palms or whatever will do that for you. So then you just put one through one and one through the other, meet it in the middle and tie it in a bow. Then obviously, I mean, you could, if you want to, sew it onto your page. You'd do that before you add the, you know, the other flaps. I'll just get it so it's even. Otherwise, you glue on the back there and there with a bead of glue. Alright, and then all you do is tie that in a knot. It's easier to tie the knot once it's glued into the book as well, by the way, because it don't pull up then. Tie it in a bow like so, and there you go. You stick it in your book. I'll show you mine one more time. Where's it gone? There it is. So this will do me another page, and you could make these up in advance. Don't line them with whatever paper, and then whichever kit you're using or whatever theme you're using, you can have them ready made. And another thing you could do, another idea is, you could have that and just have a little notebook of paper in there as well. Instead of the waterfall, you could just have a collection of note paper stitched on, so that when you open it, it's a little notepad. But either way, you've got a tuck at the bottom, and then you can tuck between the flaps. I can come up with ideas all day long. Just sometimes the ideas I come up with, and always, not everything will transfer well to a video tutorial. You know, they can be a bit basic, or you know, you think to yourself, well, that's a bit easier, everybody's going to know how to do that. But I just thought this was a nice idea, a nice little folded belly band. And there you go, is my little cluster on there. So as I say, you've got your tuck under there, you've got your tuck in there, then when you open it, you've got 5 flips. So I've just thought I'd share that with you. Hopefully you will give it a try. Thanks for joining me. Take care, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye.